Shut up and sit down.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture. Let's bring on the host, Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs, and you are listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. It's a rock and roll show all about pets, people, and pop culture. And I am live from Las Vegas. We're going to have a great show today. A very special guest, and that is my twin sister, Serena Ratcliffe Jones. Hello, Serena.
Hello.
You still jet-lagged?
No, not too bad this morning, no.
You had a disco nap yesterday before we went out, and then you got what? How many hours sleep? Six last night?
About 6.5 last night, so it wasn't too bad.
That's not bad. We're the kind of family that go crazy when we go on holiday and we just do everything and wear ourselves out and then go home and have a rest, don't we?
Yeah, we'll fit everything
We
in
like to make the
when we can.
most of everything. So Serena's flown in from England with the family. She's celebrating her 20th anniversary. And as you know, last year Jim and I celebrated ours. So we basically have a full-on wedding tomorrow. And we just keep calling it the wedding anyway because it's easier to explain.
Don't keep telling that to Mark. It's stressing.
Why?
It's like bad enough first time around.
Yeah. And he hadn't had to do anything.
That's true.
Just show up.
He never does anything.
Oh. Well, last year, Jim cried just about in the airport carrying my dress that did weigh a lot, and it was very long, so therefore he had to have his arm above his head. Well, I guess Mark moaned about your dress, didn't he?
Yeah, but it wasn't as heavy as yours.
I know that. He needs to not cry anymore. Well, if you're listening for the first time, my twin sister's here in studio all the way from England, so it's a very exciting time. And if you're new to the show and you want to connect with me on the internet, this is how you're going to do it. You can go to our website, vegasrockdogradio.com. That's the hub for the show. You can listen live through there. We're on Periscope at Vegas Rock Dog. We're on Facebook at teeth. Get my teeth in this morning. Facebook at Vegas Rock Dog Radio. And our Twitter account is Vegas Rock Dog Show. Drop the W off the end of that. Instagram is Vegas Rock Dog. Now, today we are live on YouTube. Give them a wave, Rena. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to go over to showcreatorstudios.com. And on that main page, when you get there, it says watch. Watch live. Click the button and you'll be able to see us. So hello for everyone that's going to be tuning in. I've just posted that on Facebook as well. We do have a blog, and our blog is therockandrolldog.com. And that's where I do giveaways and reviews and tell you who's coming on the show and then put the archive show back up there so that in case you missed it, you can watch it or listen to it once again. What else? Oh, rock and roll clothing for you and your dog. What's the website, Serena, for that?
I can't read it. vegasrockdog.com.
Thank you. Only had it 10 years. You expect your twin sister to know what that is. And you can listen to the show on iTunes or iHeartRadio. I finally got accepted. It took a year. And I almost gave up hope, but I'm finally on iHeartRadio, and that's a big deal because a ton of people, it's like millions of people listen to all kinds of shows on iHeartRadio. So you can download that and find the show on there quite easily. So let's tell everybody about your wedding tomorrow, Serena.
Shall we?
Yeah. 20 years. Here's interesting, because being twins, there's lots of parallels, of course. I lived in Nashville. I got married in Nashville. Serena came out and got married in Nashville. She followed me there. Now, when she got married, she's not seen the venue.
No.
She hadn't seen the church.
No.
She hadn't seen the flowers.
No. The restaurant.
The
Afterwards. No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Probably does nothing in a normal fashion whatsoever. And so she showed up, and it was all prepared, and she just had to come with the dress and her groom and whatever. And that, because with the first videos I sent you of the chapel was in winter on that little lake.
Oh, it looked a bit dreary, didn't it?
It looked horrible. It was frozen over. The lake was frozen over. There was not a leaf on a tree and not a bud. I mean, I kept saying it's beautiful in summer, honestly, but it was winter when I was scoping it out. So anyway, I get married in Nashville. Serena gets married in Nashville. I move here. My younger sister comes in. She gets married here in Vegas. So then I wanted to renew my wedding vows. And I went back to England to do them there. And now Siobhan She got married in Vegas, so she'll probably come back and she'll probably renew him here.
Yeah, she probably will.
Probably,
Actually.
So we've got a lot going on. Well, she got a couple more years, Siobhan.
2, I think. Yeah.
But her and David have been together since they were 15.
Yeah.
So what's that?
Well, she's 46 now, isn't she?
31 years.
Yeah, 31 years.
She'll kill us for that. 31 years. So she's actually been in the long. That's ridiculous. Isn't that ridiculous when you think about it? So so we've got this. So Serena's now arrived. She has not seen the venue.
I've not seen the venue.
She's not seen the restaurant.
Not seen the restaurant.
She hasn't seen the bouquet that I've made for her.
No.
We haven't even tried on. We haven't even tried on the bridesmaid dresses. We've got them.
And my son forgot his shoes as well.
Yeah, he forgot his shoes, and Mark cried at having to carry the wedding dress, and he hasn't been able to even look at it, so he doesn't even know what gorgeousness he's been carrying around. So we do nothing normal in our family, but it's certainly exciting, that's for sure. So let's talk about some animal stuff. Tell everybody about your pets, Rena.
Okay, we have Jem the Springer Spaniel, and she is 10.
Wow.
And then we have Princess Madonna, who's a King Charles Spaniel, and she's lovely. She's got a bit of a problem with her eye at the moment.
Aww.
And she is nearly 8.
Oh, wow.
And then
It's
we've
gone
got
fast.
Buddy the Beagle, who we got from rescue, and he is just 2.
Yes, he's in his terrible 2 stage, just like Mr. Twix. And they both have steely shoes in common, yeah?
Yeah, anything jewellery-wise will end up under a bed. Chewed, shoes, books, Tupperware. He quite likes Tupperware at the moment.
So does Mr. Twix. He likes the lids.
Oh, the lids and the
Yeah.
They've all gone.
And you know what he did last? I bought new flip-flops 2 days ago.
Yeah.
You know that little knobble underneath that actually is the flip-flop, really? Without that, it's not a flip-flop. He's eaten that off the bottom of my new flip-flops. I've not seen it, so don't know what that is. So we definitely have some parallels. We're in the trio club of 3 pets each. Now, when Serena got Princess Madonna, Jim I said, oh, she's called the dog Princess Madonna. Jim said, why don't they just call it Princess Madonna, Lady Diana, Mother Teresa? Why don't they just add a few more names to it? So we definitely love animals. Our younger sister has a cat, Jasmine, and Lee. How old is Mr. Binks? He's a Yorkshire Terrier.
I want to say, is he 14, 15?
He's got to be.
Something like that.
I mean, he is. Do you know what I've noticed, though, Rena? Because obviously I've got friends everywhere in different countries. But what I'm noticing, though, is that people's dogs in England seem to live a bit longer than American dogs.
Wonder why that is.
I don't know. And it may have a lot to do with the food regulation, because it's more strict in England than it is here. But for some reason, I'm seeing common people say, oh, my dog was 15 when he passed away, or 13, but I'm seeing that. So I think there's something to that as to why everybody's dogs are living a lot longer. And talking about a dog living a long time, I'm going to dedicate this show today to Irene, and she's not my mom, not our mom.
She don't like dogs.
No, she's not. She because I never harm her, but I'm not a big fan. But all the dogs always want to be on her because she ignores them, so they all want to be on her. Irene's a Dalmatian that a friend of mine was actually fostering called a hospice foster. So basically, I'll foster this dog, and to the end of their days, kind of thing. But someone had dumped Irene at the age of 15. And she had a few little health issues and stuff, but she decided she was going to keep her. I'm going to adopt her. She's going to know a permanent home. And 2 years later, because they said to her at the shelter, oh, she's probably got a couple of weeks. And she ended up living 2 more years where she did improve. And Amy and Sean, they took that dog. That dog had a life like you cannot believe for the last 2 years. I'm talking regular trips to the beach, to San Diego. I mean, really giving this dog the best time of its life. So I'm dedicating the show to Irene today. She was just something about her. She's just a really, really special dog. And, if you're thinking of fostering, this is one of the best ways you can foster as well, particularly if they're in hospice. But you never know, they may just hang out for another 2 years. But she did improve from just being in their home. She just was doing a lot better anyway. And a lot happier. So, but yeah, I'm noticing that there's a guy oh my gosh, what was that one guy who just Rodney Habib? He's an expert on animal nutrition. He has just done an interview with a guy whose dog was, oh my gosh, I want to say over 20 years old, something like that. And so he wanted to do this interview. What were you feeding this dog? But I think it was a working farmer's dog.
Exercise and
that would be a very big part of it, wouldn't it? So, and having a little job to do every day. Anyway, but I'll have to. I'd like to get him on the show because he's a very, very interesting guy. And he's going up against all the big pet food companies who lie about their ingredients or do a spin on it to make it sound like it's a healthy thing, like corn, which you don't need corn in a pet's diet. So he has no fear whatsoever, and he goes up against these big companies. And it's funny because some of them wanted to recruit him, I think, to write for them, and he was like, how can I in good conscience? And it was almost like get the enemy on your side, I think. And he was like, nope. Nope, because it's not the greatest regulation on food out here at all. And one of the biggest things that he tells you about is to stop feeding your pets kibble. In particular, cats, they need soft food, but stop giving them kibble. So that's one of his big things. And there's lots of big changes actually coming up through nutrition, medical, those kind of things. And actually one of those, and I wanted to cover it last week, and I never got to it because I had a lot of topics that I was dealing with last week. And that is spay neuter, early spay neuter by Dr. Judy Morgan. And she writes for Naturally Pets. And it's a really great website. And you're going to start seeing this topic pop up more and more and more because there's more, as time goes on, there's more and more research, and they're coming up with some very interesting findings. So in Nevada, our law is you've got to spay neuter when they get to 4 months old. What is it in England now?
It's the same.
4 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But there are some myths about the benefits of that, because there actually aren't any benefits to that. It's actually quite the opposite. So, if you're listening in, this is the spay neuter thing, and this is some of the leading people in the veterinary world who kind of specialize in certain areas. But Dr. Judy Morgan, this is what she wrote. I'm happy to report that research into medical diseases associated with the spay and neuter in dogs are continuing. A new study conducted at the University of California, Davis, showed that spaying or neutering German Shepherds prior to the age of 1 triples the risk of quite a few joint disorders. So that's the first thing. Hip dysplasia, cruciate tears, and elbow dysplasia were diagnosed in 7% of the intact males, followed until 8 years of age, while 21% of the neutered males were diagnosed with these joint problems. And in females, those percentages were 5 and 16%. Cruciate tears, that's in the knee, were the most commonly diagnosed joint disorders. Other studies have postulated that the long bones in the body continue to grow and have delayed closure of the growth plates. So, where am I? Oh, yeah, so they have a delayed closure of the growth plates when large breed dogs are spayed and neutered at a very young age. This is what's happening, and it leads to an abnormal joint symmetry. So this makes sense why they're getting these tears in the knee. Waiting until the dog is fully grown and all growth plates have closed should have a protective effect on the joints. In most cases, that would mean waiting until the dogs are over 1 year of age. Personally, she says she has bbeen recommending waiting until dogs are closer to 2 years old, when the owners are responsible about keeping their pets from breeding inappropriately, because that's always the big thing, you're irresponsible if you haven't, fixed your pets. But I think with research, I think some of these laws may have to change in time. And we talked about laws before where we sometimes don't have experts creating laws like they did in Ireland. You saw the one with the MP?
Yes.
With the dangerous dog breed
with
thing.
The signage.
Yeah, no facts, didn't consult a single expert at all and came up with this. Oh, I think these are just dangerous breeds, therefore. And I think you're crazy if you have them as family pets. So I think it's very important because when it comes to health in pets, just arbitrarily saying, no, it's 4 months, that's it, knowing that down the road we're going to have some issues, and that is one of them. where the growth plates don't close in the knee, and then you've got an imbalanced knee. Therefore, injuries are going to occur. But like she said, you've got to be that super. Well, we've got the law, so I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know how they even enforce the law here. I don't know. I've never seen anyone go to a dog park and say to your dog, lift your leg up. Oh, you're not fixed. I've not seen that, so I don't know how that's enforced. So it depends from state to state what the laws are. And hopefully they are a little bit longer, and that you're very responsible that your dog does not get to breed. The German Shepherd study also compared rates of cancer, including osteosarcoma, lymphoma, hemangiosarcoma, and mast cell tumor, and found no difference in rates of occurrence between intact and spay-neutered animals. This differs from previous findings in studies performed with golden retrievers and Rottweilers. They also looked at incidence of mammary cancer following females up to the age of 11. They found that intact females showed a 4% rate of developing this cancer versus less than 1% in females sprayed prior to 1 year of age. Unfortunately, there was no mention of incidence rate of prostate cancer in neutered and intact males. They also looked at rates of urinary incontinence in females and found that urinary incontinence was not diagnosed in intact females, but it had a 7% occurrence rate in females that was spayed prior to the age of 1. And the bottom line, don't opt for early spay-neuter if you can. Allow your pet to reach full maturity. Be a responsible pet owner and keep intact pets from breeding without purpose. Now, Dr. Karen Becker, she's another leading expert in this area as well. And I think she's in a state where they probably don't have to spay-neuter, I don't think. But basically, she was saying she gets a lot of backlash when she goes out with her dog. And they go, oh, my gosh, you haven't fixed your dog. And she has to kind of explain about the health benefits. I mean, she's a veterinarian. But she actually encourages that with her clients. But she says her clients are the most responsible clients that she has. So that's a big, big part of it. But saying that, if you don't care about the law, then you still got people aren't going to do it anyway, aren't you? I mean, you just do. I just don't know how you're going to enforce it. It needs to be enforced somehow. Well, actually, I do have a suggestion. There's so many pet events here. For example, with the big Petapalooza. You know what they could do? It used to be able to have an entrance to go in. They could have veterinarians there checking if they've been fixed. And if they've not been fixed, then the city is there. Because, I mean, it is law. And you could say, here's a ticket. Here's a free spay-neuter. Just make sure it gets done in the next 30 days. And we'll check that you registered and got it done. If not, we'll come back.
How much does it cost?
Do you know, it can vary, Rena. I mean, sometimes you get them free. You know, sometimes these clinics offer them free or really cheap. Really, really cheap. So, or...
It's expensive, isn't it?
What'd you pay? Do you know?
Yeah. Remember? Is there anything... I think females are more expensive than males.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And it's about £130. So that's about $200
Oh, that's a lot.
Something dollars. Yeah.
Well, here's another thing, too. Instead of doing a full, spay-neuter, our vet, she does sterilization, doesn't she, Jim? So what she's doing is she's not shutting off the entire system, which is what causes a lot of these problems later on life, and it shortens their life. Because Dr. Karen Beck has this amazing video, and I will post a link to it. Really goes in depth as to why it's better to leave it later if you can. For their health, and it's so in depth. But you're going to hear a lot of this. This is going to become quite the topic, and I really do think our spay-neuter law probably should be reviewed based on some of this medical information when it becomes more solid, because you would need to update them. Because in Ireland. And I know lots of people would have seen this on Facebook. I've forgotten the MP's name, but he basically, what he did was he had this sign erected at these parks that said, these are the dangerous breeds. And it upsets a lot of people. He said, I can't believe people still have these as family members. And having not consulted with an expert, there were a lot of people in uproar about it. But their laws, if I'm not wrong, have been on the books since 1970s. And I mean, come on, that's 40-odd years ago. That's ridiculous. You've got to update your laws because research changes. So, and the more we know, the better we can, put those laws together. So yeah, that's something to ponder on, but also, make sure that you follow the law. Follow the law, my people. Which actually, it's funny because talking of laws, we've had, gosh, the amount of people that think they know the law in Nevada for hot dogs in cars is unbelievable. First of all, someone said it's not a felony. Yes, it is a felony. Number two, you are not allowed to break a window in Nevada. Although I do know some friends of mine who are working on that bill to be able to do that. But it is not, you by law are not protected to smash a window. Just know what you're getting into, basically. Yeah, that's really, really important. Know what you're getting into. I mean, I personally would not, if I thought a dog was going to die, I would not hesitate. I mean, I would call the police. I would take photographs. I would make video. I'd let them know what I'm about to do. I'd get a witness. And I'd obviously reach out and see if I can find the owners, first of all, anyway. But just know that the law is, it is a felony to leave your pets in extreme temperatures in cars in Nevada, and you cannot break a window by law. But that's important to know. But we're going to have Stephen Wells coming on the show from Animal Legal Defense Fund in a couple of weeks in July. And we're going to go over all of that. And it's an amazing organization. So I tell you what, should we take a quick break?
Yes.
Let's do that then. Right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll listen to some words from our fantastic sponsors. And we'll be right back. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the Queen of Rock and Roll Dogs.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Welcome to Barking Dogs Self-Wash and Grooming, your one-stop shop for all of your pet's needs. We offer premium natural pet foods, full-service grooming, and an on-site bakery and boutique. You can choose to self-wash your dog or schedule a luxury pampering with our professional groomers. Our new Cool Cat section offers feline food, toys, bedding, and litter, while the adventurous dog department has everything you need for your outdoor activities. Cody's Healing Garden is a special place featuring flower, aromatherapy, and herbal remedies for pets. Ask us about Karma Connection, our program supporting animal rescue. Find us at barkingdogslv.com and look for us on Facebook and Twitter. We look forward to seeing you at Barking Dogs Self-Wash and Grooming.
Pet Scene Magazine is dedicated to Las Vegas pets and the people who love them. It's a source of news and information for pet lovers, as well as offering valuable coupons and specials on pet products and services. Find them online at www.lvpetscene.com or look for them on Facebook.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host. I am the Queen of Rock and Roll Dogs. And there's another queen in the studio, and that's my twin sister, Serena.
Hi, everybody.
She's here visiting me for 10 days with the family. So it's really exciting. Really exciting. It's like Christmas. I never slept, did I, Jim? Well, I actually haven't slept for about 6 weeks, really. I've had this terrible insomnia, but hey, I will live. Talking about living, let's talk about bees. What was that honey you mentioned?
Manuka.
Manuka honey.
It's very interesting honey, actually.
Oh, we're going to talk about that then.
Yes.
We're going to talk about reviving bees, and then Serena's going to tell me about the honey. You've probably seen a lot of people talking about, save the bees, and I don't think a lot of people realize what's going on. But the bees are important to what's the word? What's the word, Jim?
Pollinate.
The ecosystem.
There you go. That's exactly what I was looking for. And you often will see very tired bees, and they're just there. They're just walking along, crawling along. So how do you revive a tired bee? We have this friend, before I even tell you how to revive a bee, our friend Brandy, she is... She's an animal communicator, and she showed me a video of her stroking a bee. She was giving it a massage, she said, on its back.
I hope it was behaving.
Very good. Boom. So here we go. You're going to make a bee sugar solution. I found this great website called Moral Fibers, and this is what they wrote. We're big fans of bees at Moral Fibers, and see how you can plant a bee-friendly garden, or if you don't have a garden, how you can help bees in other ways. However, they say all is well and good when the bees are buzzing around doing their thing, but have you ever seen a tired, struggling, or apparently dying or dead bee in your home or garden? They said when they've seen bees like this, they've always assumed that they were dying or dead. Then they put ever the optimist. But the other day, they said, that they were telling their other half that they're not dying, they're just tired, and you actually have to revive these bees quickly and easily using only sugar and water. And so how to revive a tired bee. So it's true, a simple solution of sugar and water helps revive exhausted bees. To create this energy drink for bees, the RSPB suggests mixing 2 tablespoons of white granulated sugar with 1 tablespoon of water. So that's 2 tablespoons of sugar to 1 tablespoon. It's going to be quite like a syrup, isn't it? And placing the mix on a plate or spoon. Do not add any more water, otherwise the bee could drown. There you go. That's why it's a thick mixture. Place the bee on the plate or spoon, where it will have a little drink, hopefully helping it to gather the energy to fly back to its hive. You can also add the same quantity of water and sugar to a small container, such as an egg cup, and leave it amongst a patch of flowers in your garden or window box, so that bees can have a drink on the go. A bit like Starbucks for bees.
Yes.
We're laughing at my husband, who...
It's a bit tired.
That was funny. Yeah, that was really funny. That was really funny. He's acting like he's got jet lag.
Maybe we should give him some sugar and water like a bee.
Revive the Jimmy D.
Maybe everybody needs a little background first.
You sound like a robot.
Worked all day and all night yesterday. Had a concert last night. Got in at midnight. Woke up at 5 o'clock. Dropped the car off at the car dealership, and then did a 2.5-mile walk home because everybody else was still in bed.
Oh, I thought you did that last night. I didn't know you did it this morning.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you see what he was doing? That was so funny. You were going at the gym.
Oh.
And he was like an old man. If you had dentures, it'd have fallen out. That was really funny. Oh my gosh.
That's my story.
That's your story. We'll talk about Jim's story in a bit. Oh my gosh. So we're going to set up a bee Starbucks, yeah?
Yeah.
What would we call it? Star bees.
Star bees.
Star bees. Of a solution of sugar and water, making it quite thick so that they don't drown. I think, Jim does need some of that little energy drink, Serena. Oh my gosh. That is too funny. That made me laugh. Oh gosh, where was I? So you can put it in a cup, leave it amongst flowers in your garden or in a window box so they can have a drink on the go before they get to the exhaustion stage. Don't be tempted to offer tired bees honey. We'll talk about this honey in a minute. In most cases, the honey isn't suitable as a lot of honey is imported and may not always be right for native British bees. And only ever offer white granulated sugar. Never offer demerara or any artificial or diet sweeteners. I've never seen a bee that needs to be on a diet anything, really. They said, thankfully, they haven't seen any tired bees since using this useful tip. So try it out. However, knowing some very basic first aid, as they call it for bees, can go a long way in helping out the bees rebuild their population sizes because they are dwindling. What now?
It's called, you make a slurry. It's a slurry of sugar and water.
We call it a syrup in England. We call it a syrup. Jim, that was so funny. I can't even tell you. It was just, did you catch it?
No, I didn't see it.
It was hilarious. I was hilarious. Oh my gosh. Tell me about the honey.
Right. Well, I cast my mind back to this documentary. Manuka honey, I think, it is so expensive in England. The reason is because there's a certain plant, and I think it's in Australia, where the bees obviously are situated, and that's where you can only get the Manuka honey from.
I see.
And so
they come from the Queen's bees.
So a pot of Manuka honey can be really like £18-19.
No way.
Yeah,
that's
because
expensive.
it's got healing properties in it.
I see.
So you can take it daily, or you can have it actually on like, I don't know, a coat for healing.
Oh, I see.
It does so many different things. If you've got hay fever, take a tablespoon or a teaspoon of that. So that's why it's so expensive, because it's only in that
region. There you go. Now we know. You've got to be very careful as well, because have you ever heard of fake honey?
No.
Oh, there's fake honey on the market.
Is that a slurry of...
Oh, it'll be a slurry of sugar and some colouring and some artificial flavouring.
Oh, that's all
That I
amazing.
never heard of it in my life until someone put a chart up and said, this is what you can look for. You're kidding me. So, yeah, there are fake honeys out there. Come on, what's happening? I mean, what's happening, people? You had a first today, didn't you? I sat on my patio. What was it?
Mr. Twix.
No, oh... Yeah, he wasn't too friendly yesterday. It's okay because he got very overwhelmed. It's a lot of people. We don't normally have that many people in the house, so he was a little bit overwhelmed. But he definitely calmed down this morning.
It was fine. He had a little bit of a treat, a little bit of a cuddle. It's okay now.
Yeah. Now, what else happened to you on the patio this morning?
Oh, a hummingbee.
No, it wasn't.
What was
It was
it
a
then?
hummingbird.
A bird.
It's a hybrid.
That'd be a bit jet
A bee and a hummingbird got
Merged.
married.
Merged.
But it came,
You know what I mean.
It was right up to your face,
It
wasn't
was
it?
lovely. It was really nice. Never seen one before.
They're always on my back garden. And did you know this? It's like nature show today. Plants open periodically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what the cycle is. Maybe it's every 20 minutes or something. And that's when the birds then come back to, the whole pollen situation, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not, they don't just like dot around. It's actually timed when they show up. So they like to be on that table of mine where I've got all those flowers and stuff. But on the other side of the garden, I was tending to my roses one day, and I'm not kidding, I thought the hummingbird was going to take my eyeballs out. I mean, it flew so close to my head, I thought that wasn't by accident. And I thought, oh my gosh, and it kept trying to dive bomb me, and I realised just over the wall in the apple tree was the nest. And I was close to that because I was hosing, so yeah, don't underestimate those tiny birds.
So cute.
You know their wings go in figure of eight?
That's all
It goes in a figure of eight. like my little dance here.
Yeah, she's doing the figure
That's
of eight
what
with her
allows them to
hands.
stay in place
Mm-hmm.
because they do the figure of eight. I keep knocking my mic. It's my wings. My wings keep knocking
And
my
you
mic.
shouldn't put a feeder out for them because it attracts meaner birds.
Do you know, that's what happened to my neighbour. He put one out for his hummingbirds, and then it attracted other birds that literally
Killed them.
we didn't kill them, but the hummingbirds just couldn't get in to feed. These other birds kind of took over. But yeah, there you go. So you had a first of the humming.
Mm.
I want to say hummingbee now. Just got me saying hummingbee. Jim, shall we take another quick break? Oh, well, thank you for the permission. We're going to listen to some commercials from our great sponsors, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, and we'll see you on the other side of the break.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Pet Scene Magazine is dedicated to Las Vegas pets and the people who love them. It's a source of news and information for pet lovers, as well as offering valuable coupons and specials on pet products and services. Find them online at www.lvpetscene.com or look for them on Facebook.
Welcome to Barking Dogs Self-Wash and Grooming, your one-stop shop for all of your pet's needs. We offer premium natural pet foods, full-service grooming, and an on-site bakery and boutique. You can choose to self-wash your dog or schedule a luxury pampering with our professional groomers. Our new Cool Cat section offers feline food, toys, bedding, and litter, while the adventurous dog department has everything you need for your outdoor activities. Cody's Healing Garden is a special place featuring flower, aromatherapy, and herbal remedies for pets. Ask us about Karma Connection, our program supporting animal rescue. Find us at barkingdogslv.com and look for us on Facebook and Twitter. We look forward to seeing you at Barking Dogs Self-Wash and Grooming.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Welcome back, everyone. My guest today is Serena, my twin.
Hello.
Sometimes my last name is Ratcliffe Diorigo, and Serena says Ratcliffe Jones. but often I write Serena Ratcliffe Dorigo.
Do you?
Yes, I give her the wrong name.
Hmm.
Do the kids like having a double barrel name?
No,
Ree?
they hate it.
They don't like it.
No.
So what name do they like to go by?
Jones.
Oh, that's wrong. It should be our family name. It should be Radcliffe. What's going
They
on?
say it's too long to write and
Oh, it's an
just
extra
too much.
An extra 9 letters.
Now, Mason's got a middle name.
He has?
Yeah.
What is it?
David.
Why don't I know? He has a middle name.
Yeah, it's a family name. Mark's got David and his dad's got David.
And who was David?
I don't know, actually. I don't know.
She's acting like it's some tradition, but was it
Well,
some
it is
person?
on their
But
side.
was it some person?
I don't know. I don't know why they gave it to Mark's dad. It
I'm
must
just
be
learning
some
this, and Mason is 17.
on
and
Tuesday.
I'm just learning this of my nephew, who I am very close with. That I need to know who David is now. I need to find out. Right. This is a topic that's always gets people rather riled up and upset. Jill Breitner, you should follow her page right now. Go and follow her page, Dog Decoder, or find Jill Breitner. She's a professional dog trainer, and she is a body language expert. I want to say she's been practicing over 20 years in body language. So she really has amazing insight into training because she understands body language. And she's a member of the Professional Pet Guild. I've actually been in touch with Jill before. I want to bring her on the show because she's so knowledgeable. And I think if you can just learn some basic body language signs with your pets, you will have a much better communication and understanding of what's going on with them. For example, a wagging tail doesn't always mean it's a happy dog. Mr. Twix's tail was going yesterday, but he wasn't very happy.
No.
Who are these people? Why are they at my house? He wanted to know. So actually go to her page, Dog Decoder. That's on Facebook. You'll learn so much. And she has an app that really illustrates body language. But she did write this article. And she wrote this article for Dogster. Gosh, my memory is good today for Dogster. And this is exactly what she wrote. This was the title of it, and it caught my attention. Shouldn't a humane society actually be humane in its training practices? Oh, that dog is crazy, wild, out of control, is what she wrote. You'll need a prong collar to walk him. Ugh, she said, if I hear a shelter worker say that one more time, how can a humane society have the audacity to call itself humane when the animals in its care are not treated humanely? Recently, she volunteered at a humane society to help walk, play, and train the dogs. And let me tell you something, they would be very lucky to have Jill do that because she's one heck of an expert. She said this particular shelter was one she hadn't been to before, and to the untrained eye, things looked okay. But I saw what it really was, a living hell for the poor dogs. I have been in many shelters, government and non-profit, and can tell pretty quickly whether or not one is a savvy dog care facility. How? She said. I listen and I feel the energy. Are the dogs barking like crazy, pulling out of control on walks, or is the shelter peaceful with happy dogs heading joyfully out to a play yard? She says this tells me all about the people in charge. Dogs, after all, are a direct result of humans who care for them. And she said this humane society she visited, I assure you, she says, was not doing its dogs justice. On my tour of the facility, I saw the wall of doom. It was filled with all sizes of prong, pinch collars, and choke chains, but mostly prong collars. She asked where the harnesses were kept, and the look I got questioned whether I was from this planet. I'm sorry. Well, actually, no, I'm not sorry. She says, I am sick of organizations promoting animal welfare while lacking any kind of modern training program to facilitate getting the dogs ready for permanent adoption. Yes, they have their hearts in the right place, she says, but to take on the humongous task of sheltering and adopting out dogs and not spending money on time or training their employees in humane methods of training and handling and behavior and body language is just wrong, she said. The Humane Society of the United States itself has this to say about aversive collars. Some trainers use aversive collars to train difficult difficult dogs with correction or punishment. These collars rely on physical discomfort or even pain to teach the dog what not to do. They suppress the unwanted behavior, but they don't teach him what the proper behavior is. At best, they are unpleasant for your dog, and at worst, they may cause your dog to act aggressively and even bite you. Positive training methods should always be your first choice. If a shelter uses prong collars, how can its employees wonder why the return rate is so high? Each time a dog is returned, the anxiety level goes up and the downward spiral continues. So that you do hear those stories all the time. This dog's been in and out the shelter 10 times. And you think, why? And this is one of the reasons. And many humane societies do use their money and time wisely. They have each dog's fate at the forefront of their mission. This is shown by implementing reward-based training programs for staff and volunteers that enhance the adaptability of their dogs while reducing their return rate. This is a true humane society, she says. Training the basics humanely makes a dog much more adaptable, and teaching the basics is what all dogs should have, because your language is you've got the same language, then you can communicate better. And if you volunteer at a shelter or humane society or you donate your funds to them, please request that your donation goes towards a reward-based training program so that the fate of these dogs is one of success, not failure. Demand that they ban the use of prong, pinch collars and choke chains and use harnesses only. You can make a difference with your donation dollars just by specifying how you want them to use it. Use them wisely and hold your shelter accountable to its mission. And I thought that was a really, really great article because it doesn't make sense, does it? I mean, it makes zero sense. You're a humane society and I'm going to use a method that is very negative, painful, can be really, really dangerous, and there's no result that comes from it other than a bad result. So I think that's a very valid point from a well-respected professional, and I would hop on over to her page. And also, if you go to the Apple Store, you can download the Dog Decoder Smart app, and it shows you in these fantastic illustrations by Lily Chin exactly what you're looking for in your pets. So if you're... we haven't banned them in England yet, have we, the shock collars? We've done them in Wales.
No, you can still
Scotland.
Yeah, you can still get them.
So England's next on the list, isn't it? They don't work. There's so much research. This is not just somebody saying, "Oh, I just don't believe, that positive training doesn't work and that this is the way to do it." There's so much research to prove it, and there's some that came out of England that was very, very good. That they are not beneficial, and you can actually cause yourself a lot more problems with your pets. And you want to give them the best chance you possibly can, especially if they are a shelter pet. But I actually don't know a lot of shelters that offer training.
In England,
ours does in Sheffield, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've got a friend, Gemma, who's got her own. She actually is part of Victoria Sitwell's training program.
What's the name of Gemma's training?
A Positive Pause.
Is that her website?
Yes, it is.
Just positivepause.com
in Sheffield.
UK.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Jem.
And then, but I actually took Buddy there when I first got him because he had no house training, even though he was nearly 10 months old, and he had no attention. It was really quite hard, so we worked with him a little bit on there. And also, she does actually volunteer for Thornbury, which is the shelter where I got him from.
Yeah, because we had them. I interviewed them. Remember?
Yeah.
On
so
the phone.
she volunteers there to do some behaviour training with the dogs and walking, etc. So yeah, she works hard. Obviously, working with Victoria as well.
Yeah.
And she was at Crufts actually with Victoria at the NEC.
Oh, did she?
Yes.
Because I followed Victoria when she was doing all of that.
Yeah, she was there. So we went with the mother and father-in-law, and then Shelley, my daughter, and we went there and had a chat with Gemma and saw Victoria. So she was very busy, Victoria.
Oh, Rena, she's like a rock star. So she has no fear about speaking out, which is very good. And this is one of her topics too: prong collars, shock collars, all of that. She knows her stuff. She's got a new show coming out. Oh, she goes at night on these missions with police departments with their canine officers. And it looks like it's going to be a really, really good show. What's Gemma's last name?
Oh, I can't remember, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Only because I worked with her for about 15 years ago, and I can't remember. I just call her Gemma.
Gemma's website, if you're in the Sheffield area, is positivepausetraining.co.uk. I know she listens to the show. periodically.
Yes, she does.
So I hope she's listening in. Give her a nice little shout out. But she is part of Victoria Stilwell's training.
Yeah, she has the
network.
franchise in Sheffield.
Yeah.
And but she works very closely with Victoria.
That's really good because sometimes, these bigger celebrities, in no matter what world it is, if they put these courses together, you really don't have any contact with them. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just pay for the course or
No, she's not like that.
do your continuing credits, but you never really get to interact with them. But she does a lot of really, really good stuff. And she says she's not scared to speak up. She spoke up about the Irish MP.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
She's not impressed with that. She was just not impressed with that. But Buddy's come a long way, though.
Yeah, Buddy's done really well. We've obviously we dropped him off with Jem at our local pet hotel, which was really nice before we left to come to England. And even the ladies and the gent there said how much his behaviour is better and he's more interacting with them.
Oh,
whereas
that's
before he was
good.
ignoring them, and so that was really good. Even though he weed all in their kitchen, which was
Oh, he
very
did?
good. Yeah, but it was thunderstorming at the time.
Oh, so he was scared.
So he was a bit scared.
So I was just talking, I was telling Serena this morning that if she can't get a thunder jacket for him because he's scared of thunder, that you can actually do a configuration with the elastic stretchy bandages that you can buy at, we call it the chemist in England, the pharmacy here, the chemist in England, bilingual. But there's and I'll put a link up for this because it's a way of applying some compression that makes them feel a bit more secure.
He's not great with fireworks.
No.
The same.
Well, we're coming up on that next month. That's going to be a living nightmare because twofold. Everybody's pets are really scared. Last year, I felt like I was in a war zone. It was that bad, and it went on till who knows what time in the morning. So everybody's pets are really scared. And then you also have people that haven't locked their gates. They haven't locked their doggy doors. And last year alone, I personally shared 200 lost pets in Las Vegas, personally. So you could probably triple, tenfold that of how many pets were lost. Simple way of actually keeping them safe, which is bring them in the house, people. Bring them in the house.
There's a lady who was campaigning, actually, and she was on BBC News the other morning, and she's trying to get the law changed because the run-up to Guy Fawkes Night, fireworks, is ridiculous. Instead of it just being on that night, people are setting off fireworks 3 weeks before and 3 weeks after.
Yeah, can't have that.
And she says it's making not just her life very, obviously it's upsetting for the dog, but she can't walk her dogs or anything like that. But she said she doesn't want to ban them, but just to condense them into the time that they should be there.
Well, we're supposed to have fireworks that do not go up into the sky. Hello, they're the ones that explode and are a living nightmare. They're supposed to be close to the ground.
But you can get fireworks that don't make a sound.
That's right, I know. Yeah. They call them silent fireworks, don't they? Because there's a town in Italy that has gone to that exact thing. They only do silent fireworks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would totally recommend that. Well, a lot of people don't like it too. A lot of people have anxiety. They don't want to hear explosions going off. That's terrible. But yet last year was it was ridiculous. It was so out of control because a lot of people buy those illegal fireworks, don't they? And it's just, I don't see any enforcement. I don't know how you enforce that, but I think they do need to. I'm all for organised firework displays in one area and
on one, over one weekend.
Yeah.
What happens is if it doesn't fall on a weekend, then people, I mean, we don't, but people have fireworks on the night, and also then they'll go somewhere else to have a weekend firework, or they'll have another one.
Oh yeah.
So it just makes it. And if you're in a quite heavily condensed, population,
it's horrible.
It's constantly.
Oh, wait a bit though. Last year in Sheffield, didn't one go through somebody's window, set the house on fire?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it did, and it was like 2 a.m. And it was really bad. And I think it was down London Road.
Oh yeah.
It looked like. They'd set off these fireworks on the actual road itself. It's a massive main road in Sheffield. And it looked like a war zone. And it was out of hand last year. It was really out of hand. But yeah, I'm not a fan. I mean, we have to stay home with the dogs and we try and keep them as busy as possible with chew bones and, the little thunder jackets and turn the music up. But I don't want to hear it. I want to watch TV sometimes with all that going on in the background. But yeah, we'll be talking about that leading up to July the 4th, as we do every single year. But we will put up that link for the little compression thing with the elastic bandage. And it's cheap and it's quite effective. We actually use something else called Rescue Remedy. It's a homeopathic drops, and you can give them that orally, or you can actually put some on their face and it helps them relax. I give it to Thornton. Can't you tell she's so relaxed?
Oh yeah, really relaxed.
Talking of homeopathic remedies, you can actually save your dog's life with 3 homeopathic remedies. And do I even want to go into this one? Because it's quite an in-depth one and we're getting towards the end of the show. Maybe I'll save this one for next week. One of the things is anaphylactic shock. And that's the kind of thing you have to react to straight away. But I'll cover that next week. Because I think this would be very, very interesting. It's quite in-depth and we're getting towards the end of the show. So we'll save that one for next week. We've had some awful animal news, haven't we? With the little boy getting snatched from Disney.
Yes, that was very bad.
At the lagoon.
Very terrible.
I am surprised there's no signage or at least some kind of a barrier to that. But then again, if you're not from that area, if you're not aware of alligators, you wouldn't know. How would you know?
When we went last time, we're not from that area.
Do you know
we
what?
were aware of them, weren't we?
Well, kind of.
Well, we were opposite that golf course, and we was like,
oh,
just
we
be
were.
careful.
We were. That's right. We were. But if you're from somewhere, you don't know the region, you don't know.
Oh, we weren't. We were aware.
I know, but I do live here too, so that's a bit of a heads up, isn't it?
Yeah, true. That helps.
I wonder if they should tell people on the flights coming in. You know, by the way, alligator warnings, because they're massive. Did you see that one on that golf course that they showed? That looked like CGI, but it was real. It was very scary, and it's horrible because people were really nasty saying it was a parent's fault, and it wasn't. I mean, they were 10 feet away.
No,
and
I don't
it came
think...
out of the water,
No.
and then the dad tried to save
of course
the kid.
Yeah, no, you can't blame.
I think it's a little bit different from the ape. The kid falling in the ape enclosure, you know, that's because there was a woman.
That was a gorilla, not an ape.
Oh, a gorilla, either way. But here's the thing: there was a woman that tried to stop that boy climbing over,
and he had to climb through. Was it 2 barriers or something?
Something like that. So if she saw him, why didn't the parents see him?
Yeah.
If she had time, she goes, and I couldn't quite grab him, and he was over.
But apparently he was saying, I want to go through.
He did. I want to go in the water.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he went in the water, all right.
And I just think it's tragic that they
absolute tragic. It's not fair.
And I'm not sure why they killed the 6 alligators either.
No.
At Disney, because
that's annoying.
I mean, do they really know how many they've got? And why would? I don't understand. I really don't understand.
Disney has a wildlife mitigation program, and they are required to capture and euthanize.
Are they?
If they're caught on property.
Really?
But then in another statement,
that is their
said
wildlife
that they
mitigation program.
Huh? Because in another statement, they said that they were their resident pets. What? What?
That's no pet.
When people complain or they get too close to people, they don't relocate. They capture and euthanize.
Wow.
Well, I know that this week they already started putting up the fences and some signage. And what was scary were parents posting pictures of where their kid was in the exact same spot a day before or an hour before, or, you know, that this happened. It could have easily happened to them.
Yeah.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. We did have a chimp on the loose here, though, didn't we, Jim? Do you remember that?
Because we have weird laws in Clark County, and people are allowed to have wildlife in their residential areas.
Oh, they really?
Yes, the chimp was on the street. Here's the thing: they ended up killing the chimp. They said the chimp was a danger to everybody. There was no one around that chimp. There was no one around that chimp. I think that was a rush to judgment too. The owner was there, and it was horrible, absolutely horrible. It was that exact same week. You know that my favorite corner on Las Vegas Boulevard?
Yeah.
There's this one corner I love. It's the best people watching ever in the whole of the city. You'll see everything. You'll see tourists. You'll see hookers, you'll see drug dealers, you'll see the police down there, you'll see the residents down there, and then sometimes when the car stops at the light, you'll see a chimp in a passenger seat looking out the window at you. Window down, elbow out, looking at me, this chimp. I'm scrambling to get my phone. I've got to get pictures. People think I'm lying if I don't take a picture of this. But there was a chimp in the passenger seat. And it waited at the light.
And it
he died. When it went round the corner, it was still looking at me. He took a right turn. He was staring at me all the way. Window was open. It's the best corner. You sit there, you will see the best of the best. I saw Big Bird in an electric wheelchair. Full of on. Elvis with a briefcase walked down there one day.
As you do.
You name it, you'll see everything on that one corner. And it's funny because a friend of mine, I'd posted on Facebook, my favourite corner, people watching like I normally do. And she Facebook back, and she goes, I can see you. The only thing I could see where I sat was the Olympic Gardens strip club. And it has a balcony. And I said, do you work at Olympic Gardens? Because that's the only thing I can see. She said, no, I'm behind you. But she came down and we met her dogs and everything. But it's the best corner. They have a place there now in the little, it used to be the Venezuelan place, and now it's a little sandwich shack. It's called Goodwich. Very good sandwiches. Very, very good sandwiches. And they've got 4 chairs, I think, out there. And you sit there and suck in some fumes from the cars right at the light, and just people watch all day. It's fantastic. But yeah, you'll see chimps and what about the guy with the
chimps and pimps?
Chimps and pimps. It's all happening on the corner. What's that? What's the dragony looking thing that I'd always see down the district called Vegas? It's not it was not a monitor. What was it? Not a Komodo dragon. What is it? Help me, Jim.
A dragon?
The guy that always used to have it down on the district.
Peter the dragon.
No.
Puff the magic dragon.
Yes, iguana. Big,
iguana?
Big iguana.
It's not a dragon.
They originate from dragons. Because dragons are real, Serena.
Okay.
Don't you remember Puff the Magic Dragon?
Live by the sea.
See? Yeah. There's a guy here in town. He's called Piff the Magic Dragon. And he has a comedy act and he wears a dragon suit. And he has his little dog, Mr. Piffles.
Only in Vegas.
Only in Vegas. I'm going to go a couple of minutes longer, Jim, I think. But anyway, so he would be out there with the iguana and just having a coffee like it's normal. You see it all in Vegas. I'm telling you, nothing shocks you after a while. I mean, just nothing is shocking anymore. Did you grow up here, Victoria? Oh my gosh! So you've seen it. This is totally normal for you. Yeah, it sounds like we got like a crew of like 100 here. We had Ian here who owns the studio, and we got Victoria who she's running the cameras and everything, and Jim who's barely awake.
Oh, he's doing very well.
He's doing now. Now he's woke up, but
I'm here, Jim. I'm on your side.
She always is on Jim's side. Twins are not supposed to be on anyone else's side. Right. Oh, I'm just checking the photos that Ian sent me.
Oh. He's a little bit tired on there.
That's fantastic. Well, I think we've come to the end of the show, Serena.
Oh, that's a bit sad.
Have you enjoyed yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All
Even
right.
though I didn't know what I was talking about until you just said it. Talk about wing it.
Full of surprises. That way you don't have any canned answers. It's
all right. You writing it. I need to know what I'm speaking about.
Well, I think what we'll do is I'll have you close out the show. Now, if you're listening, of course, on iHeartRadio, on the app itself, you can share the show. So if you've loved the show today, share that on your social media. We want to grow the audience as big as we possibly can. And I'd fully appreciate that. So Serena's going to close out the show by saying this little paragraph. You see that there?
No, I can't see it.
Do you need your glasses?
No, I've got other glasses, haven't I? You can help an animal in need. Either rescue, adopt, donate, volunteer, or share their information. Rescue your next family member, as I did. Replace the word shop with adopt. Be kind to all animals.
There you go, people. That's the twin show with Samantha and Serena. We got our names. I'll just tell you this little bit of trivia. We were named after Samantha from Bewitched and her groovy cousin, Serena.
Yeah, I am groovy.
And she's groovy, all right. Thank you for being here, Rena.
Anytime.
Anytime. Thanks for listening, everyone. You're the biggest parts of the show. And you've been listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio, where it is all about pets, people, pop culture, and bees, and dragons, and hummingbees. What else have we talked? Manuka honey, apes and gorillas, alligators, dogs. We've covered it all today. I am your host, Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs, and always kiss your pets. Good morning and good night. And I will see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Shut up and sit down.
You've been listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.